Hey everybody, Mark here. How are you? Hope you've had a wonderful week. I know I have. It's been a pretty good September so far, and I hope you guys are enjoying your days as well. Today we're going to chat about a couple different words that we use often in English to show that something's necessary or something's required of us. And those three words are right here: must, have to, and need to. So without any further ado, let's get started. Of course, my first picture here, it has a mask. So I'm guessing you live in a country where this has become quite common. I have to wear a mask every single day. So let's start with that. Let's start with our have to. See where that goes. We often will use have to talk about something that is necessary. So let's see, what's this necessary thing? Okay, do what you have to do. Do something that's necessary. Okay, so for me, what do I have to do? What's necessary for me this week? Let's see, I think I do have some different things, right? Some different obligations or responsibilities, things that I'm required to do this week. Like these women in my photo. This one woman is cooking, the other one's cleaning her house, and then the final woman or final girl, she is studying. Do you have to do any of these things this week? I don't have to cook, I'm lucky. But I do have to study a bit. I do have to clean. That's part of my job as the husband of the family, right? The husband in the house, right? My wife has to cook and I have to clean. Those are our responsibilities. But there's a bunch of other examples, right? For our have to, for our responsibilities. So like this, like this. And like I put there very briefly, if I don't do these things, there's usually a bit of a problem. I have to cook dinner tonight. What happens if I don't cook dinner? What happens if I don't cook dinner? No food. If I don't cook dinner, there's no food. That's going to be a problem. I have to clean the house. What happens if you don't clean the house? If you don't clean the house, then, my wife will get angry. It will be dirty. My feet will get dirty when I walk around. Maybe the garbage will start to smell if I don't take the garbage out. So there's a lot of negative things that might happen if I don't do this. So I definitely have to clean the house. I have to do the homework. I have to do my homework because if I don't do my homework, what happens? Think about for you when you're studying English. What happens if you don't do your homework? Spoiler alert, you forget everything. No, not everything. I'm kind of joking, but not really. Whenever you're studying English, it's very important that you do your homework because it helps you remember, right? You have to do it. I have to walk the dog, same thing, right? My wife's family, they have a dog. I have to walk the dog. Have to take a shower. Why do I have to take a shower? Well, okay, that's also obvious, right? I have to take a shower. If I don't take a shower, what's going to happen? I'm going to smell. I'm going to smell terrible. I'm going to be oily, oily. The oil on your skin if you don't shower, or your hair feels strange, right? I have to take a shower. And of course, I have to finish this tonight. My goal is to finish this video before the end of today. So I have to record this now. I have to finish it tonight. So again, all of these have tos, my feeling often is if I don't do it, there's going to be some type of issue or some type of problem if I don't do this thing. This is actually very similar to the word need to, but need to has a bit of a different feeling. I saw another teacher explain it this way, and I thought it was genius, thanks to some of our friends at ingvid.com, right? He said, I need to actually has more of a feeling about me. So I have to, it feels like, there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a consequence. I have to do my homework, otherwise I'm going to fail the test. Something outside of me, some negative consequence is going to happen if I use the word have to. But the word need to, we often use when it's something that will benefit me. So if I do this one, I need to take a shower. I'm not thinking about being smelly. I'm not thinking about if I don't take a shower, my wife will get angry. It's not something like that. If I say I need to take a shower, it's like, I don't feel great right now. If I take a shower, I'm gonna feel amazing. If I take a shower, I'm going to feel great, refreshed. It's going to be something that will benefit me. So I'm going to take a shower. I need to take a shower because it's going to make me feel better. It's a really hot day. Yeah, I need to take a shower. I'm really sweaty, right? I want to feel better, so I use the need to. Or this one, sometimes we use need to for other people. So if I say, you need to leave, you need to leave. I think really that does have a benefit for me, right? If I'm like, you're really annoying, you're really difficult to deal with, I really don't want to talk to you, you need to leave. It's because it will benefit me, right? I'm saying, you please leave because you're negatively affecting me. If you leave, it's going to be a better situation for me. So that's where you'll hear this, where like, you need to leave, right? Of course, I know some people say you have to leave, but for this example, I think that's a perfect example of how something that will benefit me. You're going, this is going to be positive for me, okay? So next, that's the word must. So in our class, we learn the word must also for this, like you must do your homework, you must go, I must clean the house. Some people do use this in this way, but Americans are a bit special. So I'm American. I'm from the land of Donald Trump and McDonald's and Obama, right? So for us Americans, whenever we're talking about something necessary, we love to use have to. We don't usually use must. If we're going to use must, you might see it like this. We don't usually use it for responsibility, but we do use it in written English. So if you see a signboard, if you see this sign on the road, it says, right lane must turn right. Right lane must turn right. That means, right, you have to turn right next. But if I'm speaking to you, I don't say must. You have to turn right. You have to turn right here. You have to turn right here. If I'm talking to a taxi driver, I say, oh yeah, you have to turn right at the next light and then go straight. You have to go right, right? I wouldn't usually say you must because I'm American. So for this example, right, again, the Americans will usually use it for our written rules. So what about British people? A lot of you're going to use language that is not American English. Maybe you're learning British English. You go to a school that has British teachers, and your British teacher might tell you, hey, actually, must and have to are a little different for necessity. And this is pulled right out of our English file, our English file pre-intermediate book. And it goes into some detail, but it says must and have to are very similar, but there's a tiny difference in British English. Normally, they will use have to for a general obligation, like a rule or a law, but then they also use must for a personal obligation. It says one that the speaker imposes, like a parent to a child. You must go to bed now, right? So how does that fit in? How is this British style different from my American version of this? Well, I like to think of it as the have to is something external. I have no control over it, or someone else is making me do something, that style, versus must is a personal obligation, where it's something that I am deciding to do, and it's not being pushed on me by someone else. Here's an example, right? If I say I have to wear a uniform, I have to wear a uniform at school. I have to wear a nice dress shirt at school. Or maybe you had to wear a uniform when you went to school. Did you decide to wear a uniform? You're like, oh yes, I need to wear a uniform today. It'll make me feel better. I need to wear a uniform today because I'll be the most stylish person in class. It's not for your benefit, right? You're wearing a uniform because it's a rule. So when it's a rule like this, right? In British English, also American English, we're going to use the I have to, right? I have to wear a uniform. But this next one, what if I'm deciding? This is not my teacher. My teacher's not deciding. My parents aren't telling me to do this. I am deciding for myself, I must study hard. If I don't, I'm not going to be able to get into the university I want to. This is really important for me. I'm not being pressured to do this. I'm making an obligation for myself. So that's where I think they make a difference between the general external obligations and this idea of personal obligation. But again, Americans, I would say I have to study hard. I really have to study hard for this test. It's important for me. So this doesn't work as well for American English, but British English, there is a bit of a difference. Let's go into it a little bit more with this idea of commands. So if I say you must, think about like if you, do you have a pet? Maybe you have a pet at home. This is my dog, Sparky. That's a lie. I don't have a dog, but if I had a dog, I would give it commands. I'd say, sit down, right? Be quiet. I don't know, could you tell a dog to be quiet? Be quiet. Yeah, sit down. Sit down is right. Sit, right? That's a command that you would give to a pet. Well, sometimes we also give commands in English, and this is something that is very strong, usually because there is a severe consequence, right? If you say you have to do your homework, maybe there's a small consequence, but look at this one. For the doctor, you must take this medicine with food. If you don't, maybe the medicine will kill you, or maybe the medicine will have a very negative side effect. That's a huge problem, right? So the doctor is being very strict. They're giving you an order, a command, right? Think like a soldier in an army, right? That's when we're using the must here. Or if I'm a teacher, I'm being very, very, very strict. You must do your homework or I'm going to kick you out of class. You're not allowed to come back to class if you don't do your homework. Or if I tell you, you must speak English in class. If you don't, you have to leave. If you don't, you have to leave. You must speak English in class. That is a firm rule. It's a strong rule. I'm not making any exceptions. If we use it that way, we also sometimes use must, but it's quite strong in American English. It's not a just personal obligation in American English. All right. So how about this one? If I say you must be here at 7, you mustn't be late. You must be here at 7, same idea. You must be here at 7. That's your mother saying this is super important. I'm giving you an order. This is something that you cannot change at all. If you're not here at 7, the world is going to explode. If you're not here at 7, really negative things will happen, right? So that's a way to kind of up the degree with this must. But again, we don't use it very often. How about mustn't? Is mustn't the same as must? If I say you mustn't be late, you mustn't be late. Okay, here's where we also have to be careful. Whenever we're using mustn't, it has a very strong, it's also very strong, but the mustn't means that it's not allowed. It's not allowed, it's prohibited. Definitely can't do it. Don't have to is a different feeling. So let's see what happens, right? Again, we have our mustn't, not allowed. What happens if we change to don't have to? Let's see. So first our mustn't, right? You mustn't be late, you mustn't smoke. Okay, 2 rules, pretty easy. So let's compare it with our don't have to. Don't have to is our choice. If you say don't have to, that means you're lucky, you can choose, right? Your choice, right? Not required of you. Like this one, you don't have to wear a tie, right? Maybe this is true for you. Maybe you don't have to wear a tie. I don't have to wear a tie. I don't even have to button this button. I don't have to button this button. I'm kind of lucky. I have a more flexible workplace. They say, Mark, you can wear rainbow colors. That's all right. I don't have to wear a tie. And my friend asked me to go to a party on Friday, and I really don't feel like going to a party on Friday. So I told them, you don't have to go to the party. Or I told them, I don't have to go to the party, right? I don't have to go to the party, right? I'm sorry, I'm just tired, right? They said, oh no, Mark, you don't have to go to the party. It's okay. So that's our don't have to go, which means that I can choose. I can go to the party or I can decide not to go to the party, right? There's not going to be any fixed rule, right? If I say, you have to go to the party, you must go to the party, that would be a stronger rule, but don't have to is very flexible, all right? Just like this, you don't have to wear a tie. What if I say you mustn't wear a tie, right? Don't have to wear a tie, I can choose. You mustn't wear a tie, oh my gosh, what happened? Maybe ties are illegal in Singapore. Maybe the Singapore government decided that ties weren't allowed anymore. They said, no chewing gum, you guys, no chewing gum, no durian, no smelly fruit on the MRT. Also, ties are banned. If you wear a tie, you go to jail. So that would be the feeling if you use you mustn't. It's much stronger. So just be careful when you use some of these. But for the mustn't, think always not allowed, prohibited, not like don't have to. Okay, next we're going to use must for deduction. This is another way to use must that Americans often use. Maybe not often, sometimes. Americans sometimes use. A deduction is a guess. So if I say this, oh, you must be a new student. You must be American. I can hear your voice. You must be American, right? So I'm guessing about what is happening. Oh yeah, why isn't she here? Why isn't my friend in class with me? Oh yeah, she must be stuck in traffic. It's a busy day. It's raining outside. It's rush hour. She has to be stuck in traffic. We'll talk about that later. She has to be stuck in traffic, or she must be stuck in traffic. Okay. So last one, have to and must, we also use for our strong recommendations. So if I say, you must try chicken rice if you come to Singapore, right? It's a definite, you must try chicken rice. Or I tell you, you have to try chicken rice when you come to Singapore. That's just my strong recommendation. That's also perfectly fine in American, British, all of the different Englishes. So I'll do a quick review. The ones I talked about were this must. Again, British people will use it for personal obligations. Americans will use it for, Americans will use have to instead for necessity or obligation. The commands, I often use must. Deductions, I will also frequently use must. And then strong advice, I use both. Mustn't and don't have to, remember, they're not the same. And mustn't is used for not allowed, and don't need to is our not necessary, your choice. Now, before you take a picture of this slide, I want to show you the next one. Ba-ba-ba-bum. What happened? What did I just do? Okay, I went from saying, oh yeah, usually must is for strong commands and deductions. Look at that. Oh my gosh. You say, really, Mark? Why is it all green? Why must and have to? Are they essentially the same thing? Are they essentially the same thing? Yeah, they're very, very often used the same way. It depends on who you're talking to. It depends on what country you're in. Some people speaking English might have a preference for using must in certain situations. Some people might have a preference for using have to in certain situations, like my Americans and Brits, right? The way we use these words might change a little bit. But things like commands, deductions, strong advice, even if it's the way I do it, it's not the way that everybody does it. Things like commands. If I say you have to go to bed now, you must go to bed now, you could use both. It's fine. Deductions. If I say he has to be stuck in traffic, he must be stuck in traffic, they're both okay. Or the strong advice, right? You have to try this restaurant. You must try this restaurant. They're both okay. So even if we've just spent 17 minutes talking about some of the small differences between must and have to, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it too much. Refer to this video if you ever want to be kind of snooty and have a very specific idea of the different ways this is used in different countries, or different ways this is used by certain Americans. But in general, right, especially when you're talking about things like obligations, commands, deductions, and advice, we use them very, very similarly. The only one you have to be very, very careful of is mustn't and don't have to, because they are completely different ideas. Don't have to and mustn't are completely different ideas. Do not use them the same way, or you're just not going to be understood, okay? So I know that we're already at 18 minutes, guys. So if you've stuck here for this long, then definitely comment and say, Mark, I need to, have to, must, stop watching now. I need to go and eat dinner. You can also, of course, find me on Teacher Mark ULC on Twitter. If you would like to message me, I will reply and help, and would be happy to chat with you on there. I check Twitter every day. We also check the comments for our Udemy course and for our YouTube. We check those comments every day as well. And then also, as always, if you can, make sure to call your mom. This is my my theme of the month, right? It's better to call your mom if you have time. And if you don't have to call your mom, of course, but if you have time, she'll really appreciate it. So thanks, Mom, again for everything you do. And I will catch all of you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.